Okay, so the game has finally come out of maintenance, and we finally have the information for the new unit's stats, and we have the information for the refines, so we're going to be talking about all that today in this video. Also, we have one little bit of information that's going to change the way certain skills were interacting with each other. So that's actually very important, and we are going to cover that in this update as well. So we're going to just start things off by taking a look at the stats for the new units. So let me just zoom in a bit so we have a better view. Now, the guy who posted this little infographic actually has my thanks, because he's shown off in blue and red what the Super Boons and Super Banes are going to be for the units. And he's also gone ahead and made the SP total for the units their BST. So it makes this a very good infographic, and shoutouts to the person that made this. Okay, so Anna's got 38 HP, 35 attack, 40 speed, 28 defense, 31 res, and a BST of 172. So pretty solid for an infantry melee unit, of course. She does have a super boon in speed and HP, so not too shabby there. And overall, her stats look pretty fine. She's got a fair enough amount of defense and res to be tanky, so if you wanted to run repel or close call on her, that could totally be a good option. And next up, we've got Sayri with 40 HP, 35 attack, 40 speed, 23 defense, 34 res, and a 172 BST, just like Anna. They also tie for attack and speed, so they're pretty much the same unit except with minor differences. Anna does have less HP, which works out in her favor in some cases, because the less HP you have, the easier it is to support with infantry pulse. But then Sayri does have a little bit extra res, and she also has built-in distant counter on her weapon. So Sayri will be making better use of her res than Anna. But then Anna's got more defense, so she's going to hold up a little better in the melee matchups. Both of them do have super boons and speed though, so Sayri is still a pretty solid unit overall. Okay, next up we've got Mustafa over here. So he's got a 45 HP stat, 38 attack, 25 speed, 36 defense, and 28 res for a total of 172. He does have a super boon in speed, which is kind of a moot point. I mean, I doubt you want to go for plus speed on this guy. You could if you wanted to help him prevent double attacks from certain units if they had enough speed to naturally double him, but I don't know. I'd probably just go plus defense or plus res on this guy, or even plus attack just to make him even bulkier or hit a lot harder. And he is the demote unit, so this is just another 4-star summonable axe unit like Ross and Echidna that you can go for the plus 10 merges on, and he's going to really help you out in those high scoring modes. So Mustafa is a very promising looking unit here for sure. Okay, next up we've got Mirabilis, and she has 38 HP, 34 attack, 18 speed, 32 defense, and 35 res for a grand total of 157. So she does actually have tons and tons of defense and res, which is pretty nice for a dancing unit. And she does also default with Fortress Defense and Res 3, so she's sitting on a 38 defensive stat right out of the box. And that's actually very good, because that could help her possibly avoid getting hit by isolation from Mila. Now, unfortunately, Mirabilis is an anima hero, and Mila is a light hero. So it's going to be very rare that these two are going to cross paths, since they are on the opposite sides of the spectrum for mythic heroes. But it is nice to have a high defensive dancing unit at this point, because if you need her to possibly avoid getting hit by Mila's isolation, she does have a chance to do that. So pretty cool stuff. Okay, and next up we've got Emmeryn and Gangrel, and these two are actually going to be free-to-play units. Gangrel is guaranteed as the Grand Hero Battle Prize, while it looks like Emmeryn is going to be a Tempest Trial Prize. So this is the first time they've given us 2 free prize units in such close succession, and it's going to be really awesome to add these 2 to your barracks. They do actually look like very promising free-to-play units. So Emmeryn's got 43 HP, 32 attack, 34 speed, 23 defense, and 30 res for a BST of 162. For an infantry staff unit, that's actually very spectacular. This is the first time we've gotten a free option for staff units with such a good attack and speed combination. Now, it does suck that she's not going to have boons and banes, being a Tempest Trial prize, But still, 32 attack and 34 speed is very solid for a staff. And of course her BST is premium level for a ranged infantry. She ties with Lysithea and Kyria on that front, so Emmeryn looks like a pretty solid option to get some merges on and maybe invest in. And for Gangrel, he is an infantry dagger, and he's also red, so that's pretty interesting. His HP is 45, his attack is 32, he's got 38 speed, 24 defense, and 27 res, for a grand total BST of 166. Now that is actually tied with Ewan right now for the highest BST out of any infantry ranged unit. So Gangrel actually got a pretty good deal here. And he also does come with a perf weapon, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. But statistically speaking, Gangrel does look like a very solid option to go for some merges on. So it's really awesome that Emmeryn and Gangrel just got added to the game with such a really nice stat line here. Okay, so for Emmeryn's base kit, she comes with Fear, Miracle, Rehabilitate, Wings of Mercy, and Res Opening. And she has access to Res Opening 3 as a 4-star, while she gets Wings of Mercy 3 as a 5-star. Now, Wings of Mercy 3, we already have 4-star Kane to pass that off, so I wouldn't recommend sacrificing Emmeryn for that. She does have Res Opening 3 though, which could be a good option if you wanted to just get a nice little buffing skill for some of your support units. But to be honest though, I wouldn't even recommend using her for fodder for that, because Emmeryn actually does seem like a solid enough unit to build up. So I would just hang on to any copies of her that you come by. And for Gangrel, his weapon is Levin Dagger. Unfortunately, your boy didn't get the Levin Sword, but still, Levin Dagger is the next best thing. He gets Res up 3, and if a penalty is active on the foe, it's going to give him all stats up 4. And he also deals 20% damage to the foes based on his Res stat. And that is going to be true damage by the looks of it, so pretty cool effect there. Also, it comes with Dagger 7, like all daggers, so basically defense and res smoke 3. Pretty cool stuff there. And it is a very solid perf weapon, so like I said earlier, Gangrel does seem like a pretty decent prospect to get some merges on. The rest of his kit includes Glacies, Panic Ploy 3, and Chill Attack 3, where he gets Chill Attack 3 as a 5-star, and Panic Ploy 3 as a 4-star. So that covers us for the new units on this data mine, and we're going to move on to the refines now. Okay, so we're going to start things off with Myrrh. So Great Flame, it keeps the attack up 3 that she had previously, but they did actually boost up the defense check that she does. So previously she needed 5 more defense than the foes, and now she only needs 1 more, so that's definitely way better. And it still does the same effect where it negates their follow-up. And also it comes with adaptive damage like all these breath skills do. Now the special effect on her refine is going to grant her +5 to all stats and once again neutralize the foe's follow-up if she is above 25% health and she has an ally within 2 spaces. So the +5 to all stats is actually going to be super clutch on Myrrh. She is really going to enjoy having so many stat bonuses. And with the second effect that neutralizes the foe's follow-up, you can pretty much prevent them from getting a natural double on her based on speed, as well as a artificial double from a skill like Bold Fighter or something like that. So this is basically an Omni Breaker type of effect on this weapon, and the only way to double attack Myrrh at this point is going to be with null follow-up, since unfortunately it negates all of her skills that would stop them from doing their follow-up. But still, this is a very nice refine for Myrrh, and I can't wait to do a showcase with her, because as you guys know, I do have my Myrrh at +10, so that's going to be some pretty cool stuff. Okay, next up we've got Clarisse with the Sniper's Bow. So it's effective against flying like all bows are, and then after combat, if unit attacked, deals 7 damage to target and foes within 2 spaces, and inflicts attack and speed -7 on them. So it's basically attack smoke and speed smoke 3, coupled with Savage Blow 3, so a pretty cool effect there. And also at the start of combat, if she's above half HP, she gets attack and speed up 4, and she can also stop the foes from doing a counterattack if she's within 2 spaces of a support partner. So a lot of people have been comparing this effect to Layla's dagger actually, so pretty interesting stuff. Layla is actually one of the best units you can go for, and she's a complete cheat code to have in Aether raids. Now, the main reason why that is because she can swap places with the support partner after she attacks, And conveniently enough, they did Clarisse a little bit dirty and they left out that part of her effect. So it would have been so cool if Clarisse could do the same thing as Layla and she was a free-to-play option. But unfortunately, she does not swap places with the support partner. Otherwise, they have very much similar effects on their weapons. Also, Clarisse is not a dagger unit like Layla, so she's not allowed to have disarm trap, unfortunately. Still though, this is definitely a good refine for Clarisse, and she's going to be way better than she was before this, where she was pretty much just not even usable, so pretty nice refine there. Okay, next up we've got Donnel with the Hewen Lance, or Hone Lance. I don't know how to say that word, guys. You know I'm not the best at words, so don't at me in the comments about that. It's basically just a Brave Lance with 11 might, and the same old -5 speed. And the special refine effect grants him attack and defense up 4 and negates the foe's follow-up attack if he initiates combat. So a pretty good refine effect there actually, and it's a light version of the sturdy impact skill, of course, with just a little bit less stats, but keeping the negation of the foe's follow-up. So a pretty cool refine for a Brave Lance, of course, and it's just going to make Donnel a lot better. And the final refine of the day is on Draug. So he got the Stalwart Sword, and what it does is it's going to inflict attack -6 on the foes if they initiate on him. Very good effect actually. Doing -6 attack on the foes is essentially like giving this guy +6 to his defense and res. I mean, there are some cases where it's not going to be 1-to-1 like that, like when color advantage and effective damage are taken into account. But still, -6 attack on the foes is going to be very good for this guy. And also, if unit is within 2 spaces of an ally, he gains attack and defense up 5, and he's going to neutralize his own penalties to attack and defense during combat. So it's the exact same effect that we saw on Spring Bartry's sword. I believe it was the Carrot Cudgel. So pretty cool that he gains that effect along with attack -6 on the foes, and it's definitely going to make Draug a whole lot better. The -6 attack he does is going to make his res look really nice, and that was one of the major flaws that he had from beforehand. So pretty cool stuff, and this is a great way for us to actually segue into the new skill interaction that they updated. So apparently skills in the game that neutralized units' penalties were not working properly. So the way they worked before is that if you have a penalty on your unit and let's say they have a skill that would negate those penalties, the penalties were still actually counted as being on the unit. So in the event that you were being attacked by a foe that had the Broadleaf Fan effect, they would still be gaining damage equal to your penalties, even though you were negating them. So a pretty big oversight, to be honest, and this update actually also is going to be detrimental to 2 meta-level units in particular. Fallen Ike is not going to be able to run Attack and Speed Bond 4 anymore and just stack his stats like crazy, because now he's going to be negating the penalties and they're not going to count anymore. So Chaos Ragnall is not going to be able to grant him any bonus effects from that point. And of course, Duo Micaiah with her insanely busted duo skill takes a bit of a hit here. So if the foes have a skill that negates any of their active penalties, Micaiah's duo skill is no longer going to gain the true damage effect from any of the stats that they are neutralizing penalties on. So definitely a big hit to Duo Micaiah for sure. But, I mean, that duo skill was so busted that I'm not even mad about this, to be honest. Like, we did need some ways to combat that duo skill. It does suck about Fallen Ike, though, because Chaos Ragnall's interaction with Attack and Speed Bond 4 was really awesome before this. And, of course, any other weapon like Broadleaf Fan and Blizzard and such are going to take a hit from this, too. So, I'm not really sure how I feel about this update overall, but very interesting stuff, of course. And the final thing that I want to show off is the artwork for Freya here. So we did see her in the movie that they showed off, and for some reason they decided to keep Freya's appearance a secret, and I really don't know why, but here she is in all her glory. And I do actually like the artwork for her. She's wearing sort of like a wedding dress kind of gown, and then she has butterfly wings on her belly, so pretty cool stuff there. I also like the horns that she has on her head. Pretty cool stuff. Now, she doesn't compete with Edelgard with Edelgard's ram horns, but still pretty cool artwork, and I'm interested to see how Freya is going to play out in the story. So definitely let me know in the comments section, guys, what your thoughts are on all of these updates that we've gotten, and which one of the new units are you the most interested in. I am going to be doing summons later tonight when the banner actually drops. And of course, we are going to have to do a showcase for the plus 10 Myrrh after she got her refines. So we've got a couple of good videos on the horizon if you guys are interested in checking those out. So as always, this is your boy Tacho signing out. So take care, guys, and I'll catch y'all on the flip side.